But you don't know this. But you don't know this virus. It's new, it's different. It mutates and goes in different directions with a different strain of itself. So whether I'm present or absent, the Executive Council of the Nation of Islam must call our scientists. Come and let's sit down. Our virologists, our epidemiologists, those of us who know the science. We cannot let them bring anything to us that we don't dissect.
Cannot let them bring anything to us that we are not willing to dissect.
That's right.
Just drop the mic, Brother Lau, on that. Boom. Listen. Thursday talks. You know, I get excited every Thursday because you know it's like it's a drum roll up to Thursday. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, are we ready? Either way, welcome in, family. Good evening, greetings, assalamu alaikum to our Muslim family, and of course, you know how I always shout out who. The 7th Region Coalition Foot Team on the ground, helping. That's right. Pushing content, answering texts in the comment area. I mean, we just a phenomenal team. And I just really can't thank them enough for doing what they do. So I really appreciate them. Now, of course, you remember, it's a little team here. We make up the bigger team, but we're here. We're here, family. We're here. But anyway, welcome in. Now, listen, I'm your sister, Michelle. I'm your moderator for this evening. And you know
hostess with the mostest.
You know how I do. But you know what I always tell you, right? You need to share. Just stop what you're doing.
Right.
Get it. Go, go grab a friend. Go call your mom, auntie, uncle, sister, cousin, friend, and tell them to come on and join and hear this good message that we have tonight. You know, when we come, we're not just bringing anything. We're bringing you life-saving information, right? Y'all know how we do.
That's what we do,
right? And listen, the things that are out there in the media, we dissecting it so that you can understand what's really being said, right? Because, we know how journalism works. Brother Lau, hipped us to kind of that language that they try to use and twist words and fear, kind of tactics. We know how they do. But you, again, share. We're on Facebook. We're on IG. We're on YouTube. We got to keep growing our YouTube. So help us out.
For now.
Subscribe. Right? So listen, we'll get there, family. We do what we do. But listen, we got a good number of topics that are coming out. Listen, the world is right now on fire. Just stuff crazy, everything. It doesn't even make any sense. But anyway, we got good stuff. That's right, Bilal. We got good stuff. And just, hey, hang in there. Stick along with us on this ride. We got good info. And listen, I'm just going to stop here and to start to give it to Brother Lau so he can introduce the team so we can get on with it. Anyway, all right, Brother Lau, you know how I do. I pass over the baton because I...
It
worked the first time.
Yeah, two
batons, there, right. I'm afraid to give a high five, but
you might hit in the face.
Come on now, let's play nice, family. Let's play nice.
Speaking of playing nice, family, yo, brothers and sisters, can I talk to y'all real quick? You better go get your peoples and tell them to tune in tonight.
That's right.
All this misinformation on the tail live, but that's a whole nother piece. But yeah, do that. Get your people, like and share. Shout out real quick. Maya already shared it, getting it out to her people.
That's right.
That's right, Maya.
This is that we have, so like and share. But to my Muslim brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum. To my Christian brothers and sisters, praise the Lord. To my Black Power revolutionaries, Ungawa Black Power, and to all my peace, freedom, and loving people across the planet, we say peace and blessings to you, family, on behalf of the 7th Region Coalition. Excited to be here with you this Thursday night. And you know how we do, family. They might have to change us to the Gap Band because we're going to keep dropping a bomb on you. I'm just telling you. So get ready. And speaking of getting ready, you're probably wondering, well, what is this 7th Region Coalition? Just think about the value of a lighthouse.
Come on.
When you got a ship carrying some people that look like us, talk like us, and might even be in the same predicaments across some dark, treacherous waters with some dark, demon, treacherous people in the water trying to get you in the water. Woo. But the lighthouse, it gives proper light, proper guidance, so that we don't run the ship ashore, family. We can get to our destination, and our destination is health and wellness, freedom, justice, and equality. And we cannot get that just depending upon the tell, lie, vision. So I'm excited to be with us tonight, dear family. And we have a powerful show with some powerful brothers and sisters. And speaking of one of those powerful brothers and sisters, I'm so excited, but I'm gonna hold that off for a minute. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Khalila Muhammad.
Walaikum salam.
Forgot to do. Oh, there you go. There you go. You didn't grab it.
I'm sorry.
The other.
There you go.
There you go.
There you did.
Praises be to Allah in the most holy name of Allah, bearing witness that there is no God but Him, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to all praises are due. And I further bear witness that our messenger from God Himself, who has actually sent a message to all humanity, not just Black, humanity. And that's the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And his found and victor in our midst today, who's constantly dropping the bomb, as Brother Lau said, the bomb on us each and every day, not just through his mouth, but through the mouths of us, through the mouths of his messengers, because we are now little messengers through his vessel. And that's the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I greet you all in the greeting words of peace again in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, Sister Khalila.
I'm excited. I'm so happy to be here. You know, this beautiful thing of, you know, life. You know, I'm glad that we are in the present time.
Say that part.
That's right.
Because a lot of us are in the past,
right?
And our past is making us pass.
Sister Khalila,
dropping bombs already.
So we have to be in the present time. That means that we have to remove things from our past that are leaving us behind.
That's right.
Today, let's get in the present time. We have some information that will save your present life. Not the past life, because that life is dead.
Wow.
The present life. Okay. So please, again, like, share, get all your brothers, sisters, cousins, nephews, nieces, Ray, Pookie, Leon, the lawnmower guy, the one that always, you know, either scraping your roof or, you know, that guy. You know what I'm saying? You know, that guy who always knock on the door and say, "Hey, y'all don't got no water in there." That guy. That guy. All right. Anybody who's want to be alive in the present time. So I'm just going to pass it on because we have a lot of stuff to cover. A lot of stuff to cover. And we're supposed to be on a time frame tonight.
That's right. We're going to have y'all to midnight.
So I'm going to pass it.
Now, I want to give a special shout out to our brother Philip. Right there.
Number one.
One Faisal. I'm just filling in for right now.
For
all the different hats I wear. But it's an honor and a pleasure to fill in for our brother, who will be joining us just in a couple of weeks. But I want to begin by in a proper way. Peace, Hotep, Shalom, Baragani, in the name of the one God, who bears many names. Some know him as Jah, others know him as Jehovah, others know him as Dios, some know him as Alubdumare, some know him as the Great Wind or the Great Spirit.
You better know
We
him,
as
though.
followers of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we call the Supreme Being Allah. But regardless to the name, regardless to the land, regardless to the label, I am thankful and I bear witness to the oneness of God. And I thank Almighty God, Allah, for the great messengers and prophets and all the senders of truth in our midst. I thank Almighty God for all of our ancestors throughout America who have served our people here in America, in the Caribbean, Central and South America, and throughout the world. In their divine names, I greet you in peace. We say it in Arabic as Muslims, Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be unto you. And I look forward, and we look forward to serving you this evening with the right information to guide us safely, as Brother Lyle was putting it, on the other side of this pandemic, which is not a temporary thing. We have to restore ourselves to health and improve our condition of life in every way imaginable. So even if COVID-19 were to go tomorrow, which is not, but let's just say it does, the 7th Region Coalition is still going to be servicing our people to help our people get to the better side, to the other side, rather, of this pandemic, which is our wellness and our the best way that we could live our lives. And so that is my piece. Let's go ahead and get started, family.
All right.
Let's go.
Like, share, like, don't stop cheating.
All right.
Like,
moving on.
like.
Moving on. Topic 1.
Come on, let's go.
Government failures. Where do we start, people?
Good
Where do we start?
A lot of places to start with government. How about starting with the government failures that they're not telling the people that government is failing in?
They can't seem to make a decision about where.
Right. Y'all know we's in trouble, right? You didn't know that the United States government was in trouble with failures? Oh, you thought just because today they did their little standard, we're going to avoid the government shutdown piece, but they didn't tell you the debt piece that was tied to it, because we's in trouble because all that money they gave out that y'all still spending.
Right.
You better still have some of that money left. Shame on you.
Please have some of the money left.
But ain't got no money left. Stop
But the government's in trouble. The government is in trouble. Financial trouble like never before. They had to do this last hope. Today, for those who don't know, they so-called avoided a government shutdown.
Right.
But the reason why they had to extend it is because, unlike other government shutdowns that we've been through before, this particular one would have plummeted the entire country into complete debt, unable to repay its debts from last year in the pandemic. Not even talking about this year. But I don't think they told you all about that. So
of course
a lot of government failures going on.
Brother Lau, they've been prepared to even say that they'll renege on all of their loans from before. So how can you pay off all this debt? It makes no sense.
Well, you're talking about dollars that have no value. So paying off debt, how are you paying off debt when your money don't have any value?
Nobody can.
That is best.
There's no value to it. So how do you pay off for debt? It has no value. So that's why it's so easy just to, oh, here, you want $600? Oh, here, you want $1,000? Oh, here, you want $1,200? Because it means it nothing. And that's why if you've had an opportunity like I have, I've been out of the country, and sometimes they will laugh at your little U.S. money.
Sure,
because
they will.
It ain't worth twiddling.
What was that? You got euros? Because we're using euros.
Right. Cash that out and cash
exactly. They're looking at you like, don't insult me. Insult me with this American money. Like, what is this?
And I tell you, these government failures, the money is falling and failing. Look, the policies. You all know about the fight that's going on between the White House and the FDA that's now involved the CDC. So now they're all fighting. Because government failure again, they planned on having, your fifth, oh no, this is the third. I just know it's coming. Your third booster shot, they wanted to have it ready by September. But because the science wasn't ready
Right.
to be documented, they had to push it back to October. And now they're trying to push it back to November because the CDC and the government is fighting. And how about the United States foreign policy right now? Afghanistan foreign policy not doing too well.
No.
China foreign policy not doing too well right
Brother
now.
Lyle, the Biden administration being caught lying because generals came out and said, "Oh no, we advised the Biden administration to leave certain amount of troops. I believe it was 2,100 troops there so that the Taliban don't take over."
2,100.
And the Biden administration said,
thousands.
"Oh no, they never advised me about that." But all these generals are coming out and saying, "No, we were right there." Biden.
Like you don't remember? Like I was sitting right by you, giving you.
I don't.
Water.
Like Ronald Reagan, I don't recall.
That's right. Government failures are going on with the vaccine trials related to our children right now, because you know that even though studies have been submitted that they finished their trials on 5 and 11-year-olds, they're not asking for emergency use authorization.
Right.
That means something is afoot. So this
Something
government's about to mishandle this pandemic some more, like they mishandled that 4-year-old girl who was going to get a flu shot and ended up with a full adult COVID vaccine shot.
Hold on, whoa. You just dropped something. Can you repeat that, Brother Lyle? Because I know we're on government failures, but can you just repeat that?
Wow.
Yeah, because that's the singular going to the plural, because you're right. Because yes, a family, they wanted to take their 4-year-old daughter to get a flu shot. So this was in Baltimore, by the way. They took the 4-year-old girl to get a flu shot, and she ended up with a full adult COVID-19 vaccine. Parents, put yourself in those shoes right now that your baby that you weren't taking to get a COVID vaccine ends up with an adult full dose. And I guess Sister Michelle and Sister Kalita, because of the laws and rules and regulations that all Walgreens and the vaccine company have to do is say, oops.
My bad.
Because there's no accountability.
What do we do?
There's no accountability. And that's why we've been telling you, protect your babies. Why I don't even know why the baby was getting a flu shot anyway. But
at 4.
Right.
At 4. Like I don't ever remember going to give my child a flu shot
at 4.
4 years old.
You know, and
you don't even know what you're giving your child.
Exactly. But you know what? But see, here's the situation, right? I don't know if the family was rich, poor, medium, whatever. I have no clue. But all I know is that if you had to take your child to Walgreens, more than likely you didn't have insurance. And more than likely the people behind doing the shots. Because I will tell you, when I was in New York and I went to a Walgreens because I was picking up my parents' medication, right? It was packed. Meaning the line to get prescriptions was packed. The little side for people to get vaccines were packed. So more than likely, because of the rush the pressure that they're putting on the individuals to get the inoculation is probably the person who gave it probably was overworked, tired, whatever the scenario is, who caused the person to make a very dangerous mistake. Now we don't know what the outcome, and we pray to God that baby is all right. But the fact is, we don't know. And that poor child has no way of getting it out of the child's body. And because it's an adult dosage, and they already know that the adult dosage is ravishing, they can't give it to it. That's why they were saying, well, we're going to cut down the dose half. Maybe we'll give maybe not half, less than half. They're trying to figure it out. But
Sister
the point
Michelle,
is, it's dangerous.
When they were giving, and they still are giving vaccines to adolescents, there have been so many cases of heart conditions, blood clotting on the part of adolescents. What kind of effect will a full adult dose of the COVID-19 shot have on a 4-year-old?
We about to find out, Brother Tony. You know why? talking about government failures, you all know your school department falls into government failures.
Come on.
And right now, the Washington Education Secretary, Miguel Cardona, he got a problem with something that took place here in Miami-Dade. And you should have a problem with it too.
Come on.
We're talking about a policy.
That doesn't
in
make
schools,
sense.
right? We're talking about government failures here now. Here's a school government policy failure where, yes,
the policy
Carvalho,
makes no sense.
And get this now, fam. Ready for this? The policy, this is a new protocol on who should quarantine. Now, you all ready for this?
Come on.
Now, I know it took place and it's here now in Miami-Dade where, listen to this now. If you are vaccinated and you are found to have COVID, you test positive for COVID and you are asymptomatic, you don't have to quarantine. If you are unvaccinated and you catch COVID-19, found to be positive, you have to quarantine
automatically.
Now, did you all just want to? These are policies.
Yeah, I'm just giving a look like.
It's like, ¿qué? I said in Spanish. ¿Qué cosa? Porque no, yo no entiendo. ¿Qué pasó?
It's like, really? Like, what are you? That's crazy.
That's an actual policy protocol.
That is the policy.
Miami-Dade public schools. That, again, think about it. If you are vaccinated and you are found to have COVID and you are asymptomatic, you do not have to quarantine. Does that mean that they don't want to hide it at all? Just let it all come out.
Brother Lyle, it doesn't matter if we're vaccinated or unvaccinated. If I'm asymptomatic and I'm passing it over and I tested positive and I'm here talking to children, there is a risk that they will catch COVID. You know, we lessen the risk, of course, with masks, but I mean, it's like it doesn't make any sense. At one point or another, a lot of us are taking down our masks to talk to people, and we're helping to spread the virus. So just because you're vaccinated, that doesn't mean a thing.
So the federal government is fighting the local government. It says right here now that Education Secretary Miguel Cardona on Wednesday called a new Florida rule restricting schools from requiring students to quarantine after having direct exposure to COVID-19 dangerous and irresponsible.
Come on.
Listen, and also too, I want to make sure that I mention this because the guidance about how the employment laws are being, you know, the agency that handles all, you know, how, you know, the protection of workers and workers. I can't, for some reason, it's eluding me, the agency name. I want to say the Department of Education, but not of Education, of Employment. What is it? I want to say it's EEOC, or I forgot the agency that handles all the work. I should know this, but I can't, it's not coming to me. That deals with all like the workplace policies and putting in things in place to ensure that companies that have 100 employees or more are mandated to, right? So they're fighting back Biden because they're saying this is out of our jurisdiction. Like, we are not in place to be making these mandates. They're like, why are you? It's like they're saying like this is way over our pay grade. Like, this has nothing to do with us. We can't mandate people to take something. Like, they're saying they're fighting back. So a lot of people don't know that, but they're fighting back and saying, hey, this is not right. So these agencies are fighting. You don't see all of this in the news, but they're fighting back. It's going to come to me at some point. And I should know this, and I can't remember it. But honestly, they're fighting because they're saying that, listen, you can't come and put all these dictations and in New York right now, and I think I can mention it right here. New York has now come out and said, hey, there's a ruling that came down that says, hey, you have to accept religious exemptions for health workers. Right. Period.
Boom. You all caught that, right? In case you missed it, in case you all didn't hear it,
can't deny them.
You can hear it right here on the 7th Region Coalition. It's the first legal battle to be won against them trying to deny religious exemption from vaccines, and they lost. So you
Failing.
have to respect. Now, for all Johnny come lately, come to Jesus people. Now we need to
Right.
talk about them for a minute too. Now, just a quick second here, right? You all of a sudden you found God because you don't want to get vaccinated.
Right.
Go ahead and find God if you
don't
want.
I'm
find
still.
God, and you'll find more than an exemption from a vaccination, dear
That's
family.
right.
Don't play with God right now. The government is falling as we knew it would.
No, it's too
Don't
many
play with
things.
God.
It's too many things going on right now, Brother Loud. But I just want the family to understand. Listen, this is real, and you've got to stay on top of the news because they're fighting. And these nurses, I saw in the news today on Fox News, they had on a pregnant woman, and we'll go on to the next time. But they had on a pregnant woman, and she was saying, "Hey, listen, I had some medical thing, like she had a miscarriage, right? So her and her husband were concerned." That she got re-pregnant, and she got concerned that she didn't know what effect it was going to have on her body or her fetus. So she said, "Hey, I don't want to take the chance of taking this vaccination because I just lost a baby."
Mm.
And she gave in her medical exemption, and then they denied her. She was like, "Are you kidding me? You're gonna force me to take this, and I'm pregnant? I don't know. You don't have enough studies, and you tell me, oh, it's safe." And they didn't accept her medical exemption.
Wow.
How about that?
A lot of issues going on nationally, family, that we should be tuned into.
Right.
And
That's
so,
right.
and they're not broadcasting these so readily. So, not just London Bridge is falling down. Your United States government is falling down, falling down.
And it's so funny that you mentioned that, because since you indicated about national, let's talk about the children in the rural area in California, right? We really need to discuss that one, because we're really dealing with something that is, because we honestly we really forget about the rural area, the people that really don't have the proper means and the support that we have in our cities.
Sister Kalila,
right.
you're dealing a lot with, in California in particular, you're dealing a lot with migrant workers. In Homestead here, we deal a lot with migrant workers here in Florida. And you have to understand, these are people that, some of us could just be thinking about, oh, well, they're just picking grapes. They're just picking fruit. These are necessary workers right now, because there is a food shortage that they're not talking about. And these are people that are really working to to really get us the vegetation and the food that we need right now in many cases. And you're dealing a lot with people that don't make any more than a little bit over $2,000 a month there in California. So, like,
and they have to fight COVID
now, going back to school, some of them have come back home, contracted COVID.
Then the parents can't work. It's horrendous.
Can't work. A lot of the things that the benefits that people would usually get if they get sick days or whatever, they don't have sick days. They don't. And so 2 weeks being out 2 weeks pay, that could mean a catastrophic condition in any of these homes. Well, one good thing is a lot of migrant workers have networks of people. They have family which they could rely on in difficult times. But not all of us really have access like that.
Right. So, Brother Tony, I'll go ahead and show that, because we need to go into topic 2. It was a good segment, right, to go into food and supply shortages. We got to move on to topic 2.
All right. And then we see the article.
Right. So you all see that again, right? What? Food and supply shortages?
Come on.
Yes.
Worker shortages? Bus driver shortages? Truck driver shortages? Nursing shortages? And yes, dear family, there's a shortage of information and knowledge too, I see.
There's a few articles, and I know we have some, but I found an article that talked about the energy usage in China is a problem. They're having problems in China, and it's causing the shortages, global supply shortages, and it's reflecting in other places, not just China, I believe, in Indonesia as well.
That's correct.
That's right.
So yeah, so you're seeing, so if you go to your local grocery store, if you've noticed certain items are out of stock, you're going to start seeing. Now, I've noticed it in the last few months. More recently, last month, that there were particular things that I normally get that are not there anymore. They're just, the shelves are empty. It's just an empty spot there. So we got to talk about this, because what's happening in China. So you have to remember, where do you think all the companies go because they want the cheap labor to get their products produced? Where do you think they're going?
Right.
They're going to China. They're going to Indonesia. They're going to these countries where they can get cheap labor. And so if anything happens in these countries, how do you think it's going to affect us in the U.S.?
Excellent point, Sister Michelle. You remind me of about a month ago in a canal. It might have been, it was definitely a canal over near the Mediterranean, where a freight truck got blocked sideways, and there could be no ships traveling back and forth. Shut it down for about a week or two, and it messed up the entire world food supply chain. And they're not letting you know now, family, but the food supply chain right now is in a dire situation.
It's critical. It's critical, Brother Lau. I don't know if we can bring up some of the articles, but it's critical. Right. And the simple fact is, I believe we have an article, we'll soon bring it up, talking about schools are scrambling on how to deal with the food shortages.
Even there's a shortage. There's a shortage in school cafeterias. They're receiving very little vegetables. And so the diet of children in public schools is already pretty bad.
How about that?
Now that they have hardly any access to vegetables, and so we have to provide the alternative. And as conscientious people and conscientious parents and family members, we have to come up with a solution ourselves. With us in the Nation of Islam, we do have Muhammad Farms in Georgia, and we do have access to those are the best vegetables and beans that you could find on the market, family. And we encourage you to look into that. Sister Michelle, you were going to say something.
Well, yeah, right here.
Yeah, I was going. Yeah, we're going to talk about the article, because I know you have mentioned. What I was actually going to mention is that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has talked about the economic plan for years.
Right.
And the reason why the minister came out and was asking for everybody to donate anything, because he had the foresight to see what was going to happen in these troubling days.
That's right.
He knew what was coming. And so that economic plan, and so the thing that Brother Tony just talked about, Muhammad's Farms, where do you think that came from?
Muhammad's economic blueprint.
That's right.
Right. Thank you. Muhammad's economic blueprint. And that's why we started, and we encourage the believers, go grow something in your backyard, on your porch. It doesn't matter where you are. Start growing your own vegetables and things, because there will come a time when, number one, you won't be able to leave your home and get food. And number two, you may go to the store and find the shelves empty.
That's right. And Sister Michelle,
don't want to get caught with your family not eating. Go ahead, Brother. Sorry.
As we look at this article here, dear family, where, mind you, the food supply to schools across the country, not just in the state,
not just here,
not just in the
everywhere,
city, entirely. So it says that now you all need to listen to the language. Schools are choosing less healthier lunch options. Brother Tony already told you, dear family, the options, they already got a garbage, dear family. So now what does this mean? So now we're going to produce a new generation of malnourished children who are sickly, who are going to need your medications, who are going to need your vaccinations, who are going to need your sick care system, because we're not sick and tired of this madness.
That's right.
And you know, the thing is, look at. I just want everybody to pay attention to this. I don't even know what this.
I don't even know what that is. You know,
I
and you
don't
know
know.
I can't see without
Sometimes
my
we
Y'all
have-
like you don't know what that is. Y'all know what that
know what
is.
that is.
Them
What
little
is
fake
that?
chicken,
So
them little
first of
fake
all,
chicken
it's
nuggets they used to give us all mushed up. And that's probably the ketchup, because remember Ronald Reagan wanted us to have ketchup as a vegetable.
Oh,
Y'all forgot
Lord.
about that, huh?
Ah,
We,
I
and
did.
that white bread, Lord, the
the
white
white
bread,
bread.
that white
Oh,
bread,
Lord.
and that this concoction inside this
Mhm.
thing that you can't even see, you can barely see, this chocolate milk.
Oh my God.
Hey,
Let me
the,
tell you something.
let me. What about the pizza on
Right.
Thursdays?
We're gonna make our
Where
children sick.
That was what
They,
that was,
they don't even have those anymore.
I will tell you that I was spoiled. My daddy used to go out and get me outside food, so I didn't have to be
That's the best thing he
subjected
could have done.
to school lunch. You know what I mean?
We had that.
I'm sorry. All right, I'm back. I'm back.
But let me ask you this though, Sister Michelle. Did you drink what they call the orange drink and the grape
No.
drink?
I
No.
do remember
You all know.
My daddy got me the house,
Tell
the Snapples.
your family to bring home a
Brother
juice from
Lyle.
school.
Now,
Tell your children to bring home a juice from
that,
school.
that,
They
down
literally
here,
would say orange drink and grape drink
But I
because
remember
it
it.
couldn't be qualified to be
down
called
here
a
we
juice.
had a frozen orange drink and a I can't call it grape because it wasn't grape. Purple drink.
If our children don't get healthy food, they're gonna be sickly, family.
That's right.
Right.
This is very
And
true.
we have to take charge of our own children's nutrition. There was a question here by Sister Maya, and maybe one of us have a question. She's asking the question, where can we get seeds? And she followed it up by making a statement that we could all get together and teach each other to grow the garden in North Miami. It could be there where you are, dear sister. It could be in South Miami. It could be in Homestead. It could be anywhere that we are down here. But do any of you have any knowledge of where we could get seeds? Because
Well, I'll say this.
that's being constantly blocked right now.
There
Go
are
ahead.
plenty of places to get seeds from.
Oh, absolutely.
But I want to warn people about what seeds not to get.
Right. Go
They
ahead, brother.
have produced seeds that are called terminator seeds.
Wow.
These are seeds that once you plant them, they lose the ability to reproduce the food that naturally would reproduce.
Wow.
And this is another form of control. For those who don't know, there's only three companies internationally that control the entire food distribution network. That's Monsanto, Continental, and Cargill. But they make these terminator seeds, and then that doesn't allow you to reproduce. And then that's when you get foods that don't have seeds that's supposed to have seeds.
Right.
So, family, don't get your seeds that are genetically modified.
That's right.
Your local farmers.
That's right.
Local farmers, your local farmers, your local farmers who basically do organic farming.
And here in Miami, if you travel down to Homestead, we have farmers that are like that and that can assist. And all throughout the country, we just got to find a local in our locals farmers market, people that are supportive of organic foods and for us to grow our own foods. This is what we need to do right now in this hour.
Right. And if I can share this real quick, you know, true story. I took some young people, this was years ago, it's called gleaning. It's when you go to a farm after everything is gone out to market and there's still stuff that's left around and you can glean, you can come and pick up whatever you can get. So we were getting tomatoes because that's what we're at this time. And so we had these young adults take the tomatoes and take them back to elementary schools to give and teach to the children. The first question we asked the children in the schools was this: where do tomatoes come from? And do you know, like a chorus, they all said at the same time, the store. Family, we are so far behind on teaching our children basic skills to produce our own food. They think tomatoes and vegetables come from the store, but when they see it come out of the ground and from the fruits of the labor of their own hands, not only are they healthy,
Right.
they are also informed. Wake up.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Wow. Praise be to Allah. So listen, that is food and supply shortages. Remember, family, as always, we're told in the nation, and we're sharing with you. Please stock up. Please go out and start making sure that you have enough food and water stored up for at least 6 months, because we don't know, what comes and when, if you can leave the house or not. You just never know. So please just continue to stock up, get emergency supplies, get all the things that you need, and make sure your family is secure and safe. So
some of y'all got more toilet paper stored up because you bought all that toilet paper. You still ain't get rid of it yet.
You know what? Listen, on that note, we're going to topic 3. We'll have
and when we go to topic 3, for those who can. That's right now, you need to start canning now, because you talking about food shortages and supplies. Canning supplies are very scarce.
Yeah.
And if they're not scarce, they're so high in regards to canning, to where it's really very hard. And we have been taught how to take our jars, rewash them or reuse them. Not so happen the tops, because the tops, they do get very rusty.
Though.
Yeah, they're very rusty, and when that top pops, you really can't reuse it. But you can reuse those glass jars, those mason jars. Reuse your mason jars. Keep your mason jars. That's very important, because I'm telling you, you're not going to be able to find any, and if you do, they're going to be so expensive. All right,
expensive. Thank
you. The overall message right now: don't let your guards down, family. Prepare. If you want to learn how to do canning, I believe that we in the Nation of Islam, we do have videos on YouTube and
we have one right on our page, Brother Tony.
Right there, we go.
Look,
we got it right on our page. We have videos on how to can.
Right.
Go ahead, Sister Michelle.
That's right. Okay. All right. Now, topic number 3: force mandates.
Now, I'm gonna tell you one thing now, family. Now, we've been talking about this for a while, and then now you've seen the whole thing materialize, right? Now, it's bad enough that the United States government comes out with a federal mandate for federal employees.
Right.
It's bad enough that school districts across the country come out with mandates for teachers. It's bad enough that the healthcare industry come out with mandates for healthcare workers. This week, yes, in California, they're looking at mandates, vaccine mandates for children in school, 12 and above.
That's right.
Vaccine mandates for children.
Yeah. That's the moment when my child would be getting pulled out and talk about adios. I'm gonna go get an online school and Samanara, right?
Sister Michelle, and a lot of parents are pulling their children out of public schools there.
Absolutely. You might as well just put them online. I mean, listen, it's going that way anyway. You're just gonna have to spend a little more time with your children. I know it's tough.
Mm-hmm. You gotta make a way.
And think about it, family. How many commercials, commerce yells have you seen this week with children and images of children receiving the vaccine? See, they're not only mandating it by law, they're mandating it by subliminal messaging.
Of course.
And there's some people are holding strong.
We'll put that image in our minds already.
They have increased the vaccination rates with these mandates tremendously. That means that there are people who really didn't want to get the vaccine, but to keep their job, now they're getting it. But there are many, many, many people who are fighting back. Many people are fighting back and saying you can take your job, or you're not going to fire me, and this is why you can't fire me.
Listen,
Brother Lyle.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Sister Michelle. I differ to you, and then I'll comment on what Brother Lyle just mentioned.
No, I was just gonna say that there will become a pivotal point because they did lay off close to 600 people at United Airways,
Right.
but Southwest Airlines, and I think there was another airlines that said, "Excuse me, we're not taking that route because we already know that there's going to be a shortage," and they're thinking that, oh, we're going to be fine. Hold and wait for a minute. Don't think that just because they're showing you one picture that people are not police officers, school teachers, nurses. These are critical staff,
Right.
that are walking off and saying, "My life is much more than what you're trying to pull right now," and
That's
they
right.
know that they cannot sustain it. It's not sustainable. So go ahead, Brother Tony.
I wanted to mention Herbert Marcuse. He wrote a book entitled "One Dimensional Man." This was back in the 1950s, and in the book, he was critical of both the United States and the Soviet Union. And one thing that he focused on heavily was the imagery in advertisements on these false needs. You see people with vacuum cleaners and with new appliances, and he called them these false needs. But they pushed it on people with people in advertising with big giant smiles, and just ultra happy with this new technology in their homes, like looking like this, almost like crazy, you know. And so if you take a look at billboards, and as the images that Brother Lyle was mentioned on CNN, on other networks, they're showing children getting vaccinated. Don't be surprised, very soon they'll show children getting vaccinated with a big smile on their face also, because we're seeing all of this in billboards. People with big smile on their faces. Oh, now I get to go to the concert. Oh, now I get to go to the ballpark. Big smiles after getting this experimental inoculation that
Yeah,
we
but
don't
Brother
know
Tony, this
what
has
kind
nothing.
of response our body will be
No,
having
but
either
that's not.
immediately or 10 years down the line.
But that's not even the point. The fact that they're forcing you to take something that you've made a decision that you don't want to take, that's the
Come on,
point.
Sister Michelle. Come
That's
on.
the point.
It's
You
a
can't.
false need.
It doesn't. I don't care what happens. If I'm saying to you, I don't want to take it, and then you're gonna threaten. And I listened to the CEO of the United Airlines, and he says,
Come
"Well,
on.
he said basically, well, this is how it is, and we're okay, and I think that more employers should do." I said, "Excuse me." So because you're sitting and you're making your hundreds of thousands of dollars with your incentive bonuses, and believe you me, and again, they're not mentioning again in the news how all these mandates are coming down, but the Congress is not being mandated. The last time I checked, they go to the store, they got to buy groceries. They're doing everything that as a normal human being would do. So do they have some kind of other vaccine that they taken that they don't have to take it? Like, why are they allowed to skip out? But you're going to take someone who's not making hardly any money or decent money or just enough money to keep their family comfortable, rip it out of their hands. You don't do what I tell you to do, you can't have no money and you will have no house. We're going to take away your lifestyle. That's the point. This is the issue that we're dealing with. It's about your rights being struck right from in front of your face.
Let's pause, because it seems like your house is going to be on fire, Sister Michelle, in just a minute. I mean, you're setting fires over there. I'm surprised you haven't took off your tam yet. you know, mandate. Let's look at that word, and let's see how it plays on the psyche of people. Right? So we're talking about mandates. So this is something that's mandatory that people are saying that should happen or else, right? Now, there are some, jobs, big jobs. They use the term mandate because, again, as people, the first thing we do is look at that word, mandate. So we got to get it, right? But we, as smart individuals, we have to be very smart and candid when it comes down to, let's look behind what mandate means. Okay? So if you go to your job and you say, okay, what does mandate mean? Mandate means this. However, I guarantee you will get an however. And a lot of times, we're not looking for the however. We're just looking for mandate. We're not looking for the however or the alternative or, or the recommendation or this is what you can do if you qualify for this. And see, the beautiful thing about education is everybody has the opportunity and the knowledge to have it. We just choose not to look into or behind what the media is saying and putting in our face. Oh Lord, they just said mandate. Okay, well, won't you go to your job and say, when you say mandate, what does that mean? Oh, well, mandate means this. Okay, well, if I have this, is that mandatory for me? Oh, no, absolutely. Just fill out this paperwork and you'll be fine. How many people went to their job and said that? How many people went to their job and said, hey, based off of my religion, I have not got a vaccination in decades. Oh, you don't have to get a vaccine. You over here. It's okay. How many people have done that? So we have to be mindful of when we use the term mandate. Go behind the curtain.
Fight.
Sister Kalila, I was watching a CEO of a company of 200 employees who put out the mandate. Right. And the interviewer asked her, well, did you get any feedback? She said, no, actually, I was surprised. We didn't get any feedback. We didn't get any pushback at all.
There you go.
200 people and nobody pushed back.
There you go.
Now, what they're doing now, right? Because again, the mandates are going to be coming down to the children. They're feeling the pulses of the different communities right now.
There you go.
Absolutely.
And so
they're watching
UPI just came out with a poll that they did in Chicago where 48% of Black parents said, I don't want to get my child vaccinated.
Right.
Right. It's pretty high in the Hispanic community. It was around 36. And then I think around 20 in the 20s for white populations. But what's going to happen when you push grandma and Uncle Bubba to the edge? I want to paint that picture, right? That's almost half of us already don't want to vaccinate our children.
Right.
Off the rip. Now I know the propaganda is probably going to lessen that some, just like some of you are now who are running to get vaccinated because you think it's okay now because you see vaccinated people smiling, but that's a placebo effect, but that's another story. My point being is you're talking about pushing 50% of a population of parents. So were you going to mandate that their child receive? Them sound like fighting words to me.
It's so funny. I'm gonna share the story with you. My husband's friend, she works at a correctional facility, and the chief or the superintendent warden over that correctional facility basically said, hey, if you all do not get a vaccination, you are going to lose your job. So everybody said, oh my God, we're going to get the vaccination. So they went out and got the vaccination. Everybody got the vaccination. And then when they came back and they got the vaccination, he said, I was just joking. I didn't think that y'all would have took that serious.
Psych.
Oh my God, I don't have the power to fire you.
Nobody strangled him.
I don't have the power to fire you.
He's still alive?
He's still alive.
That would get somebody hurt. Unfortunately, that would get somebody hurt. Seriously.
Let me mention this about Miami-Dade County Public Schools because we received emails today The way it was phrased is like, you better hurry up and get the shot because you have a limited amount of time to get the $275. But the way it's phrased is like, you better hurry up and get your shot. They're not speaking about alternatives here. And
no,
so,
well, listen, but you have to understand that the whole thing in that what people are not seeing, and I get it, and I said this before on the show, on previous shows. The reality is, people got to pay their bills. They're scared to death of losing their homes, their cars. These people are there. They would be willing to make sure that you can't find a job, you can't get any money, you won't be able to get any food stamps, you won't get any help. They would rather see you on the street, right, exposed to COVID, rather than giving you an opportunity to say, no, that's not my choice. Right. So this is what you're dealing with. It's like a bully forcing you to drink your own mess, right?
Except you haven't had time to experiment what's in your mess. At least we know what's in our own mess. What's in your vaccine? Maybe. Tell me right now. One of y'all tell me right now. Tell me right now what's in your vaccine. You don't know. Just tell the truth. You don't know.
Brother Lau, you right, and you know that there's aluminum in that vaccine. That ingredient, and I do know the effects of aluminum, especially in children. What it can do, autism and everything else. So now you pumping that in, and people are having issues, and it's like, and then on top of that, you staying on a job that force you to take it. And again, let me remind everyone: you can get fired, you can get laid off. Okay, just throwing that out there. You can get fired or you can get laid off.
Can't come back to life, can you, Sister Michelle?
Yeah, right. Then what? So anyway, do we have anything else to show in this? I think we do. We have an
absolutely.
Article,
how is
topic 4?
Another topic within that topic is how sports are being affected right now.
Yeah, and on that note, Brother Tony, as that sports information is coming up, it is important to mention, because you all know that a lot of sports franchises and a lot of sports industries have mandated vaccine policies, but they got some pushback, right? So what they did is, when they got the pushback, they didn't publicize it except for a couple cases you hear about here and there. But what they're not telling you is that they're having more COVID cases with their vaccinated population than their unvaccinated population. You know, and these experimental games that are going on right now with making the world seem like it's all right. Are we really rushing to failure?
Yep, Brother Lau.
Yeah, beautiful brother, Brother LeBron James.
And I saw the interview with LeBron, and
he was pressured.
I got to give him some respect, and here's the respect.
Yep.
Now, he didn't get a chance to talk to us before he put that stuff in his body. That's another story.
Right.
But one thing that he refused to do, he refused to allow himself to be used as a convincing agent.
Right.
He also applauded those who stood on their choice not to get vaccinated.
He was, Brother Lyle, he was criticized on CNN because LeBron James said that it was a private issue, it was a personal choice, and CNN was mocking him. See, that when you have mockery take place on those that are presenting the news, that's not unbiased, that's biased news, and that lets us know that you're being bought out by somebody.
Right.
They came out and criticized him and said, "Oh no, it's not a private thing; it's a public thing because it's a public health crisis." But
can that clip be actually played that we have there of LeBron? Because if it can, it's a good lesson for how vaccinated people should respond to those of us that choose not to be vaccinated.
Come on.
When it comes down for me, I can speak about myself. I think everyone has their own choice to do what they feel is right for themselves and their family and things of that nature. I know that I was very skeptical about it all, but after doing my research and things of that nature, I felt like it was best suited for not only me, but for my family and for my friends, and that's why I decided to do it. So, but as far as I don't, you guys should know me. Anything that I talk about, I don't talk about other people and what they should do. I speak for me and for my family, and that's what it's about. but you don't think that the issue is important enough for someone with your stature to speak out? We're talking about individual bodies. We're not talking about something that's, political or racism or police brutality and things of that nature. We're talking about like people's bodies and well-being. So I don't feel like, for me personally, I should get involved in what other people should do for their bodies and their livelihoods. Or be me talking about somebody that they should, take this job or not. Listen, you have to do what's best for you and your family. If they should relocate, you have to do what's best for your family. So I know what I did for me and my family. I know some of my friends what they did for their families. But as far as speaking for everybody, their individualities and things they want to do, I don't feel like that's not my job.
You can stop it there.
I think when it comes down,
You see, family, and I was doing a workshop today with some youth about violence, and one of the things one of the young people said, he said that adults forgot how to be disagreeable and be at peace.
Right.
And what I'm applauding LeBron on is, if they want to use anyone in the world to convince everybody else to get vaccinated, they would want to use him. At least he stood his ground and said that's a personal choice, and I support people in their personal choice and what they choose to do. So, and there's other brothers in the league that are standing up who are not vaccinated, and they're still standing on it, and we have to applaud them too. And of course, in athletics on the football teams, here's what they're doing now. When a person who is not vaccinated contracts COVID, they're making it public that this unvaccinated person contracted COVID. When a vaccinated person contracts COVID, they're saying person is not available due to COVID protocol. So they're still trying to paint that image, right?
It's semantics. It's just using, there's another clip too that can we show? It talks about how they regret the vaccination.
Tennis player who got the vaccination just because he wanted to participate in a tennis tournament, and now he's having all types of difficulties that he traces back to when he received the vaccination. Mind you, he did not want to get the vaccination. He felt pressured into getting the vaccination.
Brother Lyle, if I could mention, we were about to pull up that article right there, but Kyrie Irving, he plays for the Brooklyn Nets, and of course New York, their mandates are like in particular sport, like in sporting events, public events, in order to just attend, you have to be vaccinated. And our brother is standing his ground. He's like, no, I'm not going to get vaccinated. He said this quote: any player who elects not to comply with local vaccination mandates will not be. I'm sorry, this was not him. I wanted to read something else, but it says here, and any play the NBA has not chosen to not be. I'm sorry. The NBA has not had forced vaccinations on players, yet 90% of NBA players have been vaccinated. I wanted to read what our brother Kyrie Irving had to say. I had it earlier. Oh man, don't you hate it when this happens?
If it comes back and meant to be, folks, you know how to do your own research. Y'all look up. All y'all listen. Let's put them to work too, Brother Tony. We doing all this fine research.
It's out there.
You all look that up.
All right, perfect.
Kyrie Irving is standing his ground. That's the bottom line, and it's his personal choice, even at the expense of losing a great portion of his salary. At home games, he's not going to be able to play in home games now with the current mandates. He'll be able to play some away games, and let's see how.
Brother Tony, let me ask you a question here about these slave owners. I mean, these team owners.
Come on.
How long is it you think Master gonna sit Kyrie on the sideline because he won't get one of your shots?
They're not gonna sideline him for too long, brother. They're not.
And Jeremy Shardy, who
if they want to win
said,
games,
right? he regretted getting the vaccine because of what he experienced afterwards, and he had some serious issues, and that could affect his entire career,
Right.
athletically as well too. So, lot at stake here with these mandates, family. And we want to remind you again, people across the country are fighting against the mandate. Don't forget, we told you a couple weeks ago about the tens of thousands of police officers across this country and first responders who said, "Oh hell no, no." So you can say no too.
That's
And
right.
then he also indicated, he said, I have a problem. I have a serious problem.
Right.
As a result, I can't train, I can't play. And this will probably affect my future, like you just said. I mean, listen, right now you're these vaccinations are really dealing with the livelihoods of people and what they have did all their life.
You know what else he can't do, Sister Kalila? He can't sue.
He can't
That's
sue.
right.
No, he can't sue, but they're utilizing these forced mandates to in like these types of things. Sports, yeah, it's at this NBA level, but they're actually going after the young ones that if they even want to try out for the leagues,
Right.
that they
That's
have
right.
to be vaccinated. So these are things that are coming down. But I'm going to close us out on this topic because it's time for us to move on. We got to go to topic 4.
Move on.
There's still a lot. So the next thing is natural disasters. So this is huge because we talked about some things happening, but this is looking very apocalyptic.
Very apocalyptic. And and it's something because they
Like
tried
that
to do
word.
it with the pandemic. They tried to do it with the pandemic, and then Biden came back and tried to do it again lately, which is to take God out of the equation.
Take God out of the
The
equation.
Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan told us that this was a pestilence
From where,
from
Brother Lyle?
heaven.
Come
What
on.
are we saying, family?
That's
Right? I'm not talking about you go to church or go to mosque Sunday, folk. I ain't talking about y'all.
Right.
Right? Now, I ain't talking about y'all. I ain't talking about y'all who believe for the sake of convenience or for the sake of sounding intelligent. I'm talking about believers and knowers of
That's
the power and reality of God. How dare they not bear witness to the biblical and Quranic scriptures that back up not just the pestilence, but what's going on with these natural disasters all over the world, family. And Biden is immediately coming out. Well, it's definitely the climate change. Well, maybe the
Really?
climate
All of
change
a
of your
sudden,
atmosphere and your knowledge of God need to change.
hello.
The world is going up. Can we pull up that article that has all of those tremendous disasters that are taking place? We know about the forest fires in California, and we know about the earthquakes and the hurricanes in Haiti and across the islands. But family, do you know that the whole planet is in trouble right now?
Whole planet. Not just some, the whole planet.
Mm-hmm.
And the rapid melting of ice in the Antarctic.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, go ahead. Do we have the article?
Oh, it didn't come up. Let me do it again.
Okay.
Excuse me.
And here's another thing about making sure you stay plugged into international news, family. Because in the United States, you're only going to hear about what's going on in the United States. I mean, some of these things would horrify you if you knew what was taking place. This is somewhere, I think we'll put it on our Facebook page, but we want you to go there as well too. It's called the Center for Disaster Philanthropy. And they focus on identifying natural disasters that are taking place all over the world. And there's about 15 active natural disasters right now going on across the planet.
This is actually
volcanoes. Go ahead, Sister Kalila.
This actually comes from a triclone. So for those who are not familiar with triclones, this is like heavy like rain that just don't stop. It just like pours down. So not that tropical rain that we normally see and it comes and it floods, This rain does not stop at all. And this is what's going on here. And we have to be, and this is in India. And this is actually their second trichrome, in the past 4 months.
Wow.
Look at the, and it's not, look at the, first of all, look at the water. Can you imagine what that water has in it? And how they could actually be sick for just putting their bodies in this water?
Right.
Floods, famine, fire, all over the planet, dear family. Cyclones in India, earthquakes in Australia, more flooding in India, volcanic eruption like never before in Spain, 2021 Atlantic hurricane season setting off, North American wildfires, family, worldwide coronavirus, family, United States, India, and Brazil still off the charts with that. So what are we saying to you? There's a whole lot more that's going on this planet than what we're being told about.
Brother Lyle, if I could read some statistics from the United Nations on the severe economic impact that this is having on the planet. It says here, this has been happening. This is not anything recent, but it's intensifying now. According to the agency's Atlas of Mortality and Economic Losses from Weather, Climate, and Water Extremes from 1970 to 2019, these natural hazards account for 50% of all disasters, 45% of all reported deaths, and 74% of all reported economic losses. There were more than 11,000 reported disasters attributed to these hazards globally, with just over 2 million deaths and $3.64 trillion in losses. More than 91% of the deaths occurred in developing countries. So our
financial costs, and they expect, if these natural disasters continue at the rate that they continue, they expect over just the next couple of years for 1 billion people to be affected, including a loss of life. But guess what, family? That's why they're trying to convince you that it's climate change.
Right.
They don't want you to know that their evil machinations are causing loss of life from population control. They don't want you to know those things, dear family. Get your mind right, silly rabbit.
Right.
Brother Lyle, the only way that this pestilence from heaven is going to go away is through submission to God.
Period.
Whatever name that you want to call him.
And on that note, Brother Tony, on that note, all my God-loving people that got the vaccine, you're just gonna make me go there just for a quick second. You value the vaccine and what it can do for you more than what your God can do for you? I'm just asking you a question, because I'm asking you a question. Why all of a sudden we pray for everything else, but we take the vaccine? What is it about your God and your belief in your God that you believe he did not equip you in your body with what you need to not just survive, but thrive? Remember, our God is an awesome God.
He reigns.
Remember, he reigns. Is that right? Omnipotent God, right? Come on, family. Get your God strength back.
Brother Lyle, we must return back to the land. We must return back to our original way of life. We must return back to the way that God wants us to live. And not live in a way that is dictated by this wicked world.
Our righteousness will sustain us, family.
That's right.
All right. Listen, and we got to move on to the next topic, family. I'm trying to move us along. Okay?
Great job, great job.
Because that we could go off on a tangent about that one. Come on, Sister Michelle.
I was going to say, I will leave everyone with this quote from the Holy Quran. I had just posted it this morning. It's chapter 23, 96 to 97. And then verse 23, 82, it says, repel evil with that which is best. We know best what they describe, and say, my Lord, I seek refuge in thee from the evil suggestions of the devils.
Come on.
And we lay not on any soul a burden except to the extent of its ability. And with us is a book which speaks the truth, and they are not wrong. Okay, so we'll move on to the next one, right?
And if I could just say real quick, Sister Michelle,
Tony.
I just want to say I agree with Sister Kim, and repent. Absolutely, positively, Sister Kim. Go ahead, Sister Michelle.
Yes, sir. All right. Topic number 5. Fearful population. And that verse was going right into that because it's really
Right.
fear over faith is really what we're dealing with
That's
now.
right.
Because that's really that's why people are running out, because it's a fear, and it's a real fear. Because I'm not going to sit here and lie. Who wants to worry about how I'm going to pay my mortgage, how I'm going to pay my car note, how I'm going to need food for my children? I mean, these are real things. So I don't want anybody to feel like, oh my God, yeah, y'all just saying that. This is real.
Yeah.
But like Brother Lau said, we're gonna have to have the Lord, Allah, God, whatever name you call him. He's not gonna put something more on you to the extent that you can handle. I just read it.
Right. That's it, family.
You can find that verse in the Quran, in the Bible, whatever book you want to pick up, but it says the same thing.
And speaking of, we have another short message from someone that's actually saying the same thing, but in their own language. So, so let's take a look.
Train the early to consume. Step 2. Infiltrate adults with the news. Step 3.
We got you, family.
There you go.
All you fearful people, this is what they're
Train
doing.
the people only to consume. Step 2. Infiltrate adults with the news. Step 3. Indoctrinate the children through the schools and the music and the apps on the phones that they use. Step 4. Separate the right from the left. Step 5. Separate the white from the black. Step 6. Separate the rich from the poor. Use religion and equality to separate them more. Step 7. Fabricate a problem, made a lie. Step 8. Put it on the news every night. Step 9. When people start to fight and divide, take control. This is called situational design. Step 1.
That's right,
Situational
exact.
design, family.
Situational design.
Situational
Zika,
design.
zika,
Your fear was manufactured.
That's right.
That's right.
It's not even a real boogeyman that you're afraid of.
That's right.
No. And Brother Lyle, they keep on social media, they continuously are working to censor us and not get information right. I've seen a lot of us go put up on memes, not mention the vaccine, but they'll put it in a real coded way and get the same message out. And it's these same social media pages that before they would get thousands of likes, now maybe they'll get a couple hundred likes because they're being tampered with.
This could be our last show, family. Pull up that YouTube article. I know we got it, family. Y'all ain't heard the latest fear factor. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And when do companies like YouTube and Facebook become like health professionals all of a sudden? Like they know what's best.
Brother Lau, are you saying that someone's getting paid here?
Well, one thing I know for sure is, right? Something got to be going on. When all of a sudden, right, all of this plethora of knowledge and information and inspiration that's being shared, that they are now going to censor in 2021 what they consider to be any anti-vaccine information.
Any
now,
information.
Just think about that. Any anti-vaccine information.
Including this video right here, Brother Lyle?
We're going to find out. See, but one thing is we're going to continue to use what God gave us to share with you because we love you, dear family. If it's the truth, we're going to speak truth to power. If the vaccine is good for you, we'll speak truth to power. Now, the truth being is that, look, family, it's the only alternative. They have put all their eggs in one Afghanistan basket. I'm just saying. Look,
the whole basket, Brother Lyle.
The whole basket.
The whole basket.
I just got to slip that in there, family. But what are we saying? You can only overcome your fear through knowledge and being restored in the faith that you said you believe in. You God-fearing people.
That's right.
You Pfizer fearing, you Moderna fearing, you Johnson and Johnson, they from your hood. Come on. What you afraid of?
Right.
Oh my gosh, Brother Lyle. Listen, the thing is, that's why they use fear, because it makes you make irrational decisions. when someone is under that kind of pressure and fear of loss, it makes normal people do things that they would never, ever do.
Right.
So, family, you're just gonna have to listen. You're gonna have to the God you pray to.
Look at that
You're gonna
headline.
you're gonna need to go to Him and ask Him, and listen all night, all day, whatever, however you want to do it. Ask Him to help you, to show you a way to make whatever money you need to make, because they're going to do whatever they need to do to make sure that they put out the fear and less of the resistance.
Sister Michelle,
So,
it's not just YouTube. It's been, of course, Facebook and Instagram and
But Brother
TikTok.
Tony, I do want
well,
to
we
make sure
know this
people saw
already.
that headline. I want to
Mhm.
make
We
sure
know.
that people saw that
Yeah,
headline
we saw
that
it.
says that
Right.
Yeah.
YouTube is going to block
Block
all
Yes.
all.
Yes.
anti-vaccine content. It doesn't say YouTube is going to block false vaccine content. It doesn't say YouTube is going to block misleading. It said it's going to block all anti-vaccine. That means they're even going to block the truth from you.
Right. That should make you put on your like boxing gloves
That's
and
right.
and fight, because that means that you're trying to hide the truth. So
You know what?
they don't want
There-
anybody to know.
There are a lot more people fighting on social media, creating memes, try to make people more aware of what's happening. If we could share some of those memes, I found some of them pretty interesting. Do we have some of them on there? There we go.
Right.
Right.
This is a good one here. This one reminds me of that Miami-Dade school policy right here. Right? The unprotected need to be protected from the unprotected by forcing the unprotected to use the protection that didn't protect the protected. What are you afraid of, family?
But that's what's happening. It's like policies that make no sense.
Say that.
¿Qué pasó?
This is their policy when you break it down. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? Here we are again, right? Right? The unprotected need to be protected.
Well, here's another one.
What's another? What we got going on here, Sister Leela?
I love this one.
To park outside restaurants that require passports. You don't want us eating in your restaurants, right? Now, mind you, it's not that they don't want us eating in their restaurants because we're not dirty, right? It's not because we uncivilized. It's because we don't have a vaccination. Well, food truck, pull up, get you some business from all these beautiful, healthy, unvaccinated people.
Right. That's right. That's smart. Listen, that's a smooth entrepreneur move. Go ahead.
Here's another one.
Here you go right here, right? Can't wait until the 5th wave when the people with 4 shots are blaming it on the people with 3 shots. You see the silly game they got you in? They got vaccinated people pointing at unvaccinated people. They got people with 1 shot pointing at people with the Johnson shot, people with 2 shots pointing at the people with 1 shot, and y'all who get ready to get set up for this booster, who you gonna be pointing at?
Brother Lyle, wasn't there a Dr. Seuss book about, I think they were called Sneetches, that one got 1 star, and then because one group got 1 star, then the other group went and got 2 stars, and then another group went and got 3 and 4 stars. That's what we're doing with this vaccination thing right now, which makes no sense.
Your immune system is a beautiful gift to you, family. Study it.
Study it, but listen, protect yourself. Let's not get crazy now. Is that virus out there is deadly, and don't underestimate it. That's why you have to protect yourselves. Do everything you can to lessen, right, your risk of getting it. Right, that is point blank.
Absolutely.
And regardless of these inoculations, protect yourself, family. That is where I want to leave it, because we got to get to the international news, folks. Moving us on.
All right. Great job, sister.
We had enough of the one news. All right. That's it.
You're not. Wait.
Nope.
Let's get our bodies right. We're going to leave it right there, because this pestilence
That's right.
is not
Get our minds and bodies right. That's right. All right. So let's get into international news, family.
Right. So one thing on the international scene, dear family, if you've been keeping up to date with these clinical trials, vaccine trials that they're getting ready for children, something is going on. We already told you that Cuba, they already have a vaccine that's ready to go for children as young as 2.
Right.
Pfizer submits their information to the Food and Drug Administration this week, but unlike before, they did not ask for emergency authorization. So there must be something in these studies between these 5-year-old and these 11-year-olds that they are still trying to either cover up, hide, investigate, or not share. This is an international phenomenon because remember, their goal is to vaccinate the whole planet.
Wow. Wow.
But
Listen,
And
Lau,
they
you
said,
know,
oh,
and
no, they said not yet.
I'm
not
gonna
yet, but
repeat.
there's another
I'm-
article out. Hold on. There's wait a minute, brother Tony. I want to say this because this we don't have it, but there's another article
Yeah.
out, and I believe it's in Sanofi. I think it's Sanofi or Sanofi. It's in a country called, I think it's Sanofi or Sanofi. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. Sanofi. They came out. They were in their second trials with Pfizer, right? And what is it? In biotech, the Pfizer biotech inoculation. They made a decision based upon what was going on in their trial 2 to abandon it.
That's correct.
And look at other options because they were concerned about the high immune response or reaction that the individuals were having in those trials. So I just want to throw that out there. Go ahead, Brother Tony. You can go ahead. But I just had to throw that out there because this is very serious, you know?
Sister Michelle, I mean, what we noticed just a couple of months ago, I'm just going to repeat this. The whole emphasis of those protests in Cuba, the United States and the media exaggerated the amount of protests that took place and the degree to which people were protesting. Not coincidentally, right after that, Biden comes out and says, "Oh, I'll give them vaccines if they need." Like, they already knew that they had vaccines.
Right.
And the vaccines that they're coming out with in Cuba, they themselves have said that they're doing them the natural way. The natural way means what is best for us.
Let me tell you that United
That's
States
what we want
natural
for
way.
us and our children.
The United States natural way. Go ahead, Sis Kalila.
You know, it's so funny because Europe is really one of those countries that the majority of the people have received vaccinations, right? But then they're not sure about vaccinating their children. You have to think about that.
Mm-hmm.
That means that something's been going on in the adults that they're really saying, hold on, before you start putting this in my child, let me, because you got to keep in mind the generations and that European culture, they don't produce as much as
birth dearth.
I'm just saying.
Birth dearth. And you know what else? I'm gonna tell you that ain't the birth dearth. And speaking of the European way, right? About that money, get ready between November and December for the greatest vaccine sale in the history of sale. Matter of fact, it's gonna be a buy one, get one free one, because they're gonna unload all of their vaccines that are getting ready to expire on what they call third world countries.
That's right.
You're getting ready to see that right now. Remember, Biden came out, we pledged 500 million vaccines to the poor countries of this world. He forgot to tell you because the date on them is getting ready to expire.
Right.
And what also has expired is the amount of people in the United States who are tired of that yakety yak, who ain't gonna get the vaccine. We're at the threshold now. You're at the threshold now. But the people who just ain't gonna get it, will y'all just wake up and leave us alone and allow us to help you deal with what's in your system, and let's get ourselves through this pandemic God's way.
That's
But
right.
it's deceptive intelligence because they're making us believe, those of us that aren't doing the research, they're trying to make us believe that the United States is doing a benevolent work and their vaccines are about to expire. Like, how do we get rid of them? Let's just dump them in these
Europe
countries.
too. So United
Right.
States is in bed
That's
with
right.
Europe. They are offloading all of these vaccines that you and I don't want to take. Why? Because they don't want to lose money.
Brother Lyle, there's a Bible scripture, 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
My God.
That's the way that they're portraying themselves
Right
as
before our
angels
eyes.
of light, but there's a hidden hand, there's a hidden motive involved in this.
In God we trust, but Biden you follow.
That's it. Okay, now listen, I'm moving us along. So I just want to make a correction. I put the article that I was mentioning, I put it in the chat. So it's actually a pharmaceutical company. I don't know where I got the country from, but it's a pharmaceutical company. But I put the article in the chat so our audience can see it. But we are now moving fast and furious to our tree of the week.
Tree of the week is the tree of the week.
Tree of the week.
Well, y'all some healthy people listening to the tree of the week.
Oh Lord, but listen, let's talk about it. The tree of the week is seaweed.
Tree of the week.
Tree of the week. There we go.
Think about
Let's talk
all
about
the running away you used to do from that seaweed because you didn't know how good it was for you.
You think about that. At the beach, I would run from some seaweed on the leg. Ooh,
Now,
no.
we need some thorough elaboration on this one because if I presented that to my students, they'd be like, seaweed? Ooh, that sounds nasty.
Seaweed talking about what it is in the ocean? Seaweed?
If they only knew.
Wrap around your leg.
If they only knew.
That stuff that keeps coming up on the shore, seaweed?
Right, that's seaweed.
Tell us about this seaweed, Sister
Nasty,
Kalila.
nasty.
Damn, look at this here.
Well, the beautiful thing about seaweed.
Why I got to start off with here, though, Sister Kalila? Now, see, I got to start off with here. Why got to be the first one?
Yeah, I need some too.
Look, Brother Lau, you better look. It's always time. You can always start right now. Brother Tony, hey, y'all go purchase seaweed at this
Regrow my hair here.
at the local Whole Foods store. But it does strengthen your hair. It promotes eye health, right? Let's talk about prevent colon cancer and leukemia.
Leukemia, what?
Prevents.
Come on now.
How
How many of our definitely Black folks are dealing with colon cancer?
Yeah, that's right.
Think about
I have a
that.
cousin that passed away from that.
That's
So
just real.
that's real.
It's real. It's real. And if we would have been preventing ourselves, this is what it would have been prevented. Excuse me. Protect against influenza. Right. So right now,
seaweed flu shot. Do
right.
that.
So right now, yeah, it's allegedly flu season, right? So now instead of you getting that flu shot, you get you some seaweed, okay? Aids in healthy digestion. Okay, listen, I'm a firm believer. Whatever goes in needs to go out. You don't need to stay there.
Every time. Some of y'all sitting around 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Shame on you. Yeah.
Right.
Well, good morning, silly rabbit. I was going to say something else, but
wait, now, Brother Lap. No, sorry.
a funky silly rabbit.
You know what? Sister Kalila, Sister Maya was asking, where does she find seaweed? Now, I know a couple of places, but you go ahead and tell her where she can find it.
Right. So I was just talking to Brother Lau, and when I became a vegetarian, the only thing I could think about is Chinese food and Japanese food, right?
Right.
So the only place I used to eat the seafood at, the seaweed at, was the Japanese spot or the Chinese spot. But you can actually get seaweed at Whole Foods.
Yes.
You can get seaweed if you have a place like a Japanese or a Chinese grocery store, they have plenty of seaweed there. my one of the sisters, sister Ashley, she makes oh my god, the best seaweed wrap. As for those who don't know what seaweed wrap is, it's just basically sushi, because that's what is wrapped around the sushi. That's seaweed. So for those of you say, "Oh, I don't eat seaweed," you're eating sushi. You're eating seaweed. Period.
Wow. You know what else I see here, Sister Kalila? There's two things here that this seaweed does that are one ties directly into the vaccine and the other to the pandemic.
Right.
It says it prevents the formation of blood clots.
There you go.
Right.
There you
Look
go.
at how many stories you have heard about people who have had the vaccination developing blood clots.
Right.
Now, here's another one, right? It lowers the risk of mental retardation.
That's
What
right.
that got to do with the pandemic? The pandemic has made us mentally retarded because you depend upon these foods to give you information about your life, health, and strength.
That's right.
So you need some seaweed to lower the risk of this pandemic mental retardation.
And Maya, you can also go to Amazon and order some seaweed as well. And start with your wraps. If you want, like, let's say, for instance, if you want to do a wrap, you can always do a YouTube. I think I have an article that I can actually put like a video of this YouTube way that you can actually wrap your rice or your vegetables into the seaweed, so you can actually create a seaweed wrap for your vegetables and your rice. So that's another thing.
Got to remind people, Sister Kalila, again, as you look at all of these benefits, I want people to start thinking now about how much money and wasted time you spent trying to deal with these particular issues at your doctor's office in your so-called healthcare industry, and you got seaweed that you've been walking by in these aisles all these years.
Right.
Brother, no, I keep saying brother loud. Sister Kalila, can you please read this little definition about seaweed? Because I want you to read that out to the audience.
Absolutely. So seaweed contain many antioxidants. Thank you. Antioxidants in a form of a certain vitamin C, vitamin A, and vitamin E. It also protects pigmentation. Right? It has a increase. Okay, it has a decreased amount of iodine, which is very good for those who have thyroid issues. So hypothyroid issues. This is a very good item that you can use to reduce your T3s and your T4s. So definitely for those who have hypothyroidism or any type of Graves' disease, definitely I will recommend this to that. It also has a trace of minerals vital to health and function with the thyroid, of course. And it also comes in like a purple lavender, and also contains B12. So those who will want to have a lot of energy, this is very important for that as well.
God's given us everything we need.
Listen, we just have to take advantage of it. Like, again, now anything natural, and I will say this, I don't care if it's even seaweed, you just make sure that your body is okay with seaweed. So if you haven't tried seaweed, try a little bit of it. If it gels with your body, feel free to consume it, because you would think certain things wouldn't bother you, but like Sister Kalila, she can't have pineapple. No. I can't have avocado. These are normal things. You're like, oh my God. Right. But this is real.
You know what? And this gives me a chance, Sister Michelle. I got to give a shout out. She's sitting over there trying to be all shy and all of that, but I ain't going to let it go down like that. You all don't know who Sister Kalila, the life coach, Sister Kalila.
Oh,
Because look, I was just
Right.
reminded, Sister Kalila,
Kalila.
when I saw Maya put into the chat that she's looking for something that helps lower blood sugar naturally. I thought about your show, Sister Kalila,
oh,
and
please.
how much I learned from life. You got to tell us about LifeWorks and what you're doing before we come
Oh,
off this evening. Because you're not just bringing us seaweed, you bringing us LifeWorks, Sister Kalila. Come on now.
well, y'all always put me on the spot. LifeWorks has always been something that has been brewing. I've been pregnant for a long period of time. Actually, over the pregnancy term of LifeWorks, and I want to give a shout out to Sister Michelle, because as a life coach, you have to have a life coach. And Sister Michelle is my life coach. And you wonder why, oh, we buying. Oh, Sister Michelle. Look, she be on me. Get it. When the last time you posted? When the last time you did this? So I thank Allah for Sister Michelle for allowing me to be who I am for LifeWorks. And just some things that we want to discuss, and then also something that I shared in regards to some personal information, because one thing about a life coach, if you don't have a life coach that is transparent with you and will let you know what you need in order for you to get to the next level, then that's not the proper life coach for you. And that's just being straight up honest. You want results, you need to have a life coach that's going to give you results. Period.
I want to tell all the sisters out there right now who are listening and will listen to this right now. Reach out. If you got dreams, goals, plans, and desires of living your best life for real and being your best you, you need to consult with Sister Kalila Muhammad. I'm telling you straight up. Right there, right there. You need to consult with Sister Kalila. Look, and go back. I think it's on our page as well as her page. Look at her program. Her right there. No, right there, right there, right there. Look at her program from this past Monday. You will learn so much about yourself and about your needs. And I'm telling you, sisters, you no longer have to suffer in silence. You got a life coach right there, Sister Kalila.
Right. Wait.
Right there. Sister Michelle, put it in.
And just a little tidbit of the program. I have it here. So let's see.
Come on, family.
So listen, we're going to take some time. I'm going to introduce Sister Kalila Muhammad, CEO, President of LifeWorks with Kalila. Okay, she's going to tell us a little bit about her business, what interests her to get started, and then we're going to get into what the topic is tonight. And it's about genetics. So let's talk about it, Sister Kalila. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about your business, and then we're going to get into the topics.
Okay. Well, as she indicated, my name is Kalila Muhammad. I am born in Jacksonville, Florida, and what empowered me to actually be a life coach is because there were so many people that were missing puzzles in their life, and they wanted to identify what those missing pieces was. And as a life coach, you can explore those missing pieces with your clients if they have the drive to do it. And keep in mind, I want to, get rid of the stereotypes of what life coaching is. We are not therapists, okay? Just going to be straight up with you. We're not therapists. That's not something that we do. We can't diagnose you. We cannot say, okay, well, you're suffering from this and you're suffering from that. What you're doing, you're coming to us and basically saying, this is the level that I'm at. I am stuck at this level. I want to know why, and I want to be able to see if I can solve these issues. And that's where I will come in to help you push and drive those issues to where you're on the next level. So that's what I do. That's where I bring in my expertise and my dynamics. And keep in mind, there are certain type of life coaches. My type of life coach deals with self-improvement. Okay. And when you're dealing with self-improvement, you're dealing with self first. And then you have to identify, okay, what do I want to improve? How do I want to improve? And when do I want to improve? And again, we'll go over the details in regards to the different steps and the different methods that I use in order for us to actually get to the level that we need. I will be there with you, holding your hand, but I will not do the work for you. I'm going to give you the plan of action, and we're going to do this together. So this particular project that I'm doing, I'm actually starting with me. So that's why it's entitled My Genetic Results Are Back. So that's what I'm here to present.
Awesome. And before we get too far into it, I want to just maybe you talk about a little bit about how long have you been doing this? Because you've been doing this for a long time. Right. I know it kind of moved from, you know what, let me just help you out a little bit. Let me just give you some counseling. Sure. You know what? This is something I'm passionate about, and here's the steps that I took to make this a reality. Sure. I just want you to tell the audience a little bit about that.
Yeah. So actually, I was a life coach unofficially for a very long time. I did mentoring all the way back into, oh my God, I'm going to start telling my age. But 2011 and 2009 on to present, I did a lot of mentoring, a lot of coaching younger adolescent youth for after school programs. I've actually been a coach, an actual basketball coach for multiple teams. Yes. And I also played the sports. And that's where my coaching ability comes from, not only being a part of the physical activity, but also looking at it from that coach's perspective to know how we're going to win together.
It is.
It's beautiful.
That's our beloved sister, Sister Khalil. Y'all give Sister Khalil some love. It down. So needed. So look, family, let me tell you how close to home this is for me. As soon as I watched and I learned and I gleaned, I immediately direct messaged some women and sisters in my own family who I know need that kind of love and support. Family, remember there was a pandemic before the pandemic, right? Let's take care of ourselves, and now you have help when life works. Right. Great work.
And just to share, and listen, I'm not an easy person, but I'm a fair person. And it's just like that old saying, no pain, no gain. If you success is uncomfortable.
Come on.
You want to be successful, it's going to be uncomfortable in order for you to get there. And I can normally, they say as a life coach, when you're going through the life coach training, not to promise your clients anything. But because I know that it works,
come on,
and I'm experiencing right now that it works, because right now I'm taking myself through my own regimen. Mm-hmm. So based off of my own regimen, I'm going to tell you that it works, and I'm going to show you that it works through me.
Evidence.
So I'm all yours.
Go back and watch that Monday program.
Life
Go back and watch it.
Life works with Kalila. I just want to say that.
That was the wrap-up bell. That was the wrap-up bell.
That
was the wrap-up bell. Go ahead, we can wrap up.
I wanted to ask the question because I'm right after this program is over. I'm going to go and watch it. Where can we catch that inspirational highly inspirational video.
Absolutely. So, a couple of places you can go, and please like and share my page, and subscribe to my page, and that's Life Works with Kalila on Facebook. You can also get it on the Seventh Region Coalition Facebook page as well as the YouTube page as well. Sister Michelle, Sister Kim say, try to watch, and it said that ooh, 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 and ooh, ooh, ooh. I don't know why.
Mhm.
It said that.
We're gonna find out.
We'll make sure. We'll make sure we repost it if there's something wrong.
Yeah, so yeah, if you can go to my page, I don't know if you can go to, I think Sister Kim, I think you are on my page. But it's Life Works with Kalila. I don't know why it's not, because I just pulled it up. So yeah, there you go.
That's it right there. That's the banner.
Mhm.
Life Works with Kalila. I'm
And
going
yeah,
to
just
check out
scroll
this
down.
video tonight,
Oh, nice.
and you should watch it too.
I'm just trying to be like y'all when I grow up.
Listen, all right, listen, we got to close out. Remember, family, Life Works with Kalila. Go to her page, like, share. Listen, questions are free.
That's right.
If you got
And
some concerns,
I do free consultations.
she'll give you a free consultation. So please check her out. It's very important because we got to make sure that we take care of one another. And we have to make sure that if you are striving for goals, you can manifest them, but sometimes you need somebody to kind of help you get there.
Right.
And Sister Kalila can do that. So as I'm wrapping up, because we are way over time, I'm going to kill you guys when we get off, but
No, you're not. You've enjoyed the program just like how we have too.
look, Thursday night shenanigans. Anyway, so thank you for the audience. Thank you for the comments. I pray, like I tell you every week, I pray that you've gotten something from what we presented tonight. I pray that you've got the information that I believe that will help save your lives, get your mind to think, get your heart pumping, get your soul moving in the right direction. I pray we've done that for you. Seventh Region Coalition, the lighthouse to help save your life. Don't forget, like, share. Go ahead, Sister Kalila. I just said, go ahead. Go
We have
ahead,
a
do it.
special guest tomorrow. Next Thursday.
What? Say it again.
We have a special guest
Oh,
next
we have a special
Thursday.
guest. That's right. Go ahead, brother. Sister Kalila, go ahead and announce it.
Our special guest.
You gonna leave it? We're gonna keep it a secret.
Should we?
Tell you this much,
Let's
family.
keep it a secret.
We're
Y'all
gonna
just
keep it a
next
secret, but
Thursday.
our special guest is going to help us fight back, and we're going to need your help. What I mean by
There
fight
you
back,
go.
right now we're reaching thousands. We need to be reaching tens of thousands,
Right.
and you're going to find out how you can help us before we get not knocked out. We might get knocked off, but we won't get knocked out. It's going to be very participatory.
Islam?
We're
No,
gonna need you
not
on
that.
there.
No. But this is a brother.
Excited.
Yeah, this is a brother that's going to help. So either way, stay tuned to next Thursday. Make sure you come back and join us. Thank you for the Seventh Region Coalition Foot Team on the ground. Thank you, Sister Kim, Sister Izebe, Sister Sonia, Sister Maya, Sister Dawn. Anybody else that I probably missed?
Brother
We
Lawrence was
appreciate
throwing
you.
down up in there.
Oh,
Brother Lawrence,
that's
Brother
right.
Phil.
Big L in the house. Faisal, So listen, we appreciate you. We love you all. We thank you. I appreciate you, your sister Michelle, your moderator for this evening. So enjoyed every moment of this talks that we had. And again, like, share, family, like, share, Facebook, IG, YouTube. Don't forget those three in that order. And if you have any questions, please email us 7thRegionCoalition@gmail.com. All right, Brother Lau, take it over, do the rounds, and then we close out.
Family, not the children. All right, you did what you had to do with yourself, and that's where you're at with it. Okay, but family, can we take a stronger stance at preventing our children from taking experimental inoculations? particularly
Come on now.
with a virus that they have more than a 97% recovery rate from,
That's right.
just from Jump Street. Protect our children. Get you some knowledge and information, dear family, to fight back the fear. And let's love our children more than we love our enemy. Sister Kalila, what you want to tell them?
Life works with Kalila,
That's right.
Brother Tony.
Well, I'm gonna say everything that needed to be said has been said, and I'm of the same sentiments of Brother Lyle. Let's protect not just ourselves but our babies, our children, because they are gonna be major casualties in this war if we don't stand our ground.
That's
And
right.
let's keep standing our ground. Those of us that are tuning in and are very concerned about our children and our people, let's keep standing our ground. Let's keep fighting the good fight and get the right information with our people in the midst of all this confusion.
So you all know how we roll. We're not a gang, we're not a clique, we're not a crew, but we definitely are successful at what we do. And we are
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You know, I get the fingers
like
all
this,
Love you, family.
Good night. Good night,
Thanks,
everyone.
family.
Love you all. Good night.